y'all better add your respect. Otherwise, pressure gon' be at your neck when I burn you like. This ain't a game, my aim is the throne. I'm much higher than you, like a rocket, a drone. I'm powerful, think of a stone. Throw it off of my brain and I'm back to the bone.
Welcome back, everyone. We return with more KDL tonight. As we continue the weekend, we are now awaiting the last part of the round of 32 here for the solo matches.
We are excited to have our redemption match. It hasn't been here in the previous preseason, so this is the first time we're actually having it in 2023. And it's a great thing for the players because previously they would have just been done, but now they have a chance.
Yeah, exactly. So just to remind everyone how this works, of course, we're in the round of 32, and usually you would have 4 players from each of the group to move on to the round of 16. However, to give more players a shot at getting to the round of 16, we only sent 3 players from each group to the round of 16, and now the 4th and 5th place from groups A through D will compete one last time to pick out 4 last players to join the round of 16.
They are fighting to join that round of 16, just like you said, Will, and of course our solo match schedules continue on as November continues, and we can take a look at the best records, and there's a lot of Live Sandbox jerseys here.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them, a couple repeats as well. Of course, Cool marking his name here on the track records. But you'll notice that most of the players are going to be the ones that have already moved on to the round of 16, secured their spot, and notably so, because if they're setting the records amongst a lot of these other racers on even just a couple of these tracks, that means they got first place at least a couple times, and then they are able to secure enough points to get to the round of 16. So now these are the numbers you're kind of shooting for here in the redemption match to make sure you can also join the ranks of some of these star players on these record teams. And we take a look at who awaits in the round of 16. You see match 1 and match 2. Those are groups A and B of round of 16 waiting. You see the 4 spots T, B, D. That will be decided in the first row of players.
And you can see the roster for the redemption match that we're having right now. You can see DDING, Squad, Hero, Striker, and some other players there. And it's honestly looking like it is going to be a contested group. Players like DDING and Hero, I'm sure they'll be gunning for that, the 3 first place in a row and try to end early on. And that's like the main thing for me to look out for today.
Yeah, I mean, especially Hero, right? He's someone who had a lot of expectations behind him for all time. Obviously, he was a Royal Roader when he first debuted in Kart Rider League. See if he can try to continue that success here today. And we noticed a couple interesting things about the round of 16 groups as well, but we'll have a chance to review that at the end of the day. Right now, it is time to introduce our racers for the redemption match of the round of 32.
Here we have our yellow racer, DDING, and he wants to get that 3 in a row first places that we mentioned. And if anyone can do it, DDING is surely one of those players.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the potential. He's shown that he's meant to be a rising star. Now, unfortunately, we haven't seen the same success. In fact, he actually just recently lost the ace match against one of the other competitors here in the redemption match today. So we'll see if DDING can get his own redemption in the round of 32.
And Squad is a player that we're not too used to because he's not part of any teams at the moment in KDL, but he's done a great job making it to the redemption match, and he prefers to be in the round of 16 match 1, which also DDING hoped for, and that surprises me.
Yeah, I mean, we were taking a look at match 1, and you saw it earlier. I mean, they have some record winners there in match 1, right, in that group A. Hero saying the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, that's the group, with players like Neil and Cool and World, all these dominant players, especially a couple of the ones that were dominating the preseason. So very interesting that a lot of these players would prefer to get into that first group here.
And Striker, he's done phenomenal this season. I feel like this is the time of the year where strikers shine the most, and he's the only player so far actually preferring to be in that round of 16 match 2. And our top 2 players are going to first get to decide which match they want to be a part of in that round of 16, 1 or 2, which is why our players are just kind of sneak peeking what they prefer.
Yeah, and a couple of our KWANGDONGFREECS players watching to see how this gets decided. A little embarrassed that they were caught on camera. And now we're taking a look at Skald, you know, and just trying to say, hey, this is going to be a team match, right? Like, we're going to be able to move on together. Of course, both part of Team NUTMITE.
Certainly, we want to see both players make it. That would be nice for some story, but Will here is another contender looking to make it up to the top, saying, Skald, you owe me a dinner if I make it up, or if I don't.
Yeah, all right. So a little bit of a challenge here amongst the teammates. We'll see how they do. Of course, ideally, you want to see both of your teammates be able to move on together. Now, Will recently beat DDING in the ace match as well, so see if he's able to show that same power here in the round of 32 redemption.
And Hong, another contender, he is fighting for Finale, a team that hasn't found great success this season, but solos is a completely different ground for Hong to have a great run for himself.
Yeah, so we are waiting our last racer, and it is going to be WooJun. And of just saying, you know, let's do it for Dutzy as well. So we've got a couple racers, actually, quite a few from Finale. Of course, 3 of them now waiting to try to enter the round of 16, see if they can fill up that roster in the round of 16 and keep that team brand alive here in the solo matches of our very first official KDL.
And we finished introducing our players for the solos, and as you can see, it is a pretty tightly packed group. We can certainly see players like DDING and Hero gunning for that 3 in a row first places, but the rest of the roster is also very well balanced.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, but all eyes on players like DDING and Hero. Can they get the lead early on? Will we see the 3 first places in a row? We find out as we enter Glacier Extreme Stadium. And the race begins. Redemption match of round of 32 of the very first KDL. The top 4 will move on to the round of 16, and the bottom 4 will kiss this season goodbye.
You don't want to be the one to kiss that season goodbye. It's looking rough for DDING. He has a very rough start. He is far behind even Squad in 7th place. As you can see, the top 3 start to break away.
Yeah, Hero was in the middle of the pack, but everyone was still close together that he's going to feel comfortable that he can be able to catch up. Just looking for an opening. Now, you got to remember, it's a free-for-all, right? So you have to worry about other members, other opponents trying to pressure you from behind as well. No one is in it to try to help each other. Everyone in it on their own. Hero trying to play it safe for the first lap.
Yeah, it makes sweeping such a high-risk play, and you never want to go for that, but Hero, he's able to do some sweeping while keeping his line. That is the ideal way to do it here in the solos.
Yeah, he actually just finds a great opening where he's going to get bumped forward by Hong, and Hong takes a bit of a risky wide turn, and it's going to go a little bit too far. He's going to fall all the way back to 7th place, see if he can recover, and amidst all that chaos, DDING was able to catch up during the hairpins, and he's now back in 1st place. DDING and Hero, these are the 2 racers that we're keeping our eye on.
DDING's done such a great job with catching up, just as you mentioned, Will. Now you can see those 2 players exactly fighting for that 1st place spot, and DDING is kind of behind on the booster gauge, it seems, so I'm sure Hero will catch up soon.
Yeah, exactly. I was keeping my eye on the same thing, and Hero, he's going to take advantage of maintaining that top speed for just a bit longer to be able to get the lead. We enter the very last section of the hairpins. DDING starting to put the pressure onto Hero, but can he get the draft? No, and they're going to have to wait until the last jump.
Oh, there's an attempt from DDING to overtake, but Hero was able to defend that beautifully. Now DDING going for a Hail Mary right now, a different line from Hero here, and it seems like DDING might be in the lead.
Oh, Hero was trying to look to cut him across, but he actually lost too much speed off of the jump. Hero falls all the way back down to 5th place. Meanwhile, DDING able to retain that 1st place, and he will be able to select track number 2.
Well, it was the 2 players that we expected coming in at the end, although Hero did fall short because he was trying to stop DDING, as you mentioned, Will. He got 5th place off that, so now DDING is that player to watch out for here.
All right, DDING, can he get the 3 in a row? He said in his bio that that's his goal for the day. We'll see if it continues, as we currently have DDING, Striker, WooJun, and Hong in the top 4. Hero close behind, finishing in 5th place. A bit of a rough fallback at the very end. Striker, you know, playing it somewhat safe. Not a racer we mentioned much because he was just racing his own build, trying to avoid a lot of these collisions, a lot of the sweeping. Curious to see what DDING's selection will be in round 2. How does he plan to try to get the 3-peat and make this an early night for all the racers?
Ding, I think we're having an angry Ding performing here today. He's been struggling in the ace matches, but in solo matches, he has a great start. He's chosen Village Boom Hill Tunnel for our second track of solos. This is round 2 of our redemption match. We're in Ding's choice of track, and we can see Ding does fall behind a bit because there's such a large pack in front of him.
Yeah, but we saw him fall back earlier in Extreme Stadium, and he found a great opening in the first lap at the end towards the hairpin. So it looks like Ding, he's just looking for that opportune moment. He finds a good one here in the tunnel, and as we enter the middle section of the track, he's going to try to keep up in the podium rankings. Now, Ding, you can just tell he's trying to play safe. He doesn't want to ping pong back and forth. He wants to be able to maintain his speed and his build and just find that little opening where he can thread the needle.
Just like you're saying, Will, you can see Ding really focusing just on his line there, not caring about what's happening around him. As long as Ding doesn't get collided into like that, now he does, so he's going to fall behind.
Yeah, and this is a tough one. This is a tough track to do that on. The track is so narrow for the entirety of this middle section that it's very hard to make your own build work with all these opponents. Hero, meanwhile, able to shoot forward into first place. Can he keep it as we near the shortcut? Hong is actually, what an incredible spin turn. Tries to cut off Hero, but he does lose speed near the end, and a bunch of collisions on that shortcut.
It's only Hero right now without a single mistake, and Hero is looking to stop Ding from getting that first place finish, and Hero is going to make that play happen.
And Ding, he was trying to at least get into second place, but Skald plays just as aggressively, cuts him out, and it's going to be Hero, Skald, Ding, and Striker in the top 4 positions in track 2.
You can see Hero's really happy about that win there. It would have been scary for sure if Ding was able to get that first place, and he was so close to it, picking up that third place in the end, like you mentioned, Will. So he is still going to lead in terms of overall score.
Yeah, we'll have to see, though. It gets pretty close. WooJun picking up a fair number of points as well in 5th place. Meanwhile, Hong, Will, and Squad, not much of a change there for their own points here. Will still at -1, not able to get into the positive point range just yet.
You can see the bottom is really struggling right now. Only the top 4 is going to make it out of today. Now, no longer the top 5, right? So there's a lot more pressure to be able to keep up, and the lead in 1-2 is really huge right now.
Ding just, it seems like he's saying, okay, reset, I'll get that first place again. Meanwhile, Hero just happy to get first place, get those points again, and it's already selection done from Hero. He wants to take us to another tough one here as we get ready for World Tour Terracotta Twister. Hero and Ding currently leading the pack in points, but it's going to be Striker and WooJun close behind as well. Here's to see, Hero, can he make the three-peat happen? And Ding, is he going to have a chance at redemption?
You got to keep in mind that tempo is incredibly important here. And speaking of tempo, Ding with that collision, he is going to be far behind now.
Yeah, that's a pretty costly one. It looked like he felt the need to try to catch up to Hero and Striker way up front, and he's trying to cut that corner a little too close. Meanwhile, Hero and Striker pretty much a 1v1. Will currently at -1 points, right? He wasn't able to escape the bottom of the scoreboard just yet, so he's trying to make way to just get enough points to try to catch up, enter the top 4.
And I love that Hero is keeping Striker's line in check. Now Will's able to come up forward off of Hero blocking Striker back, and now it seems like 2nd and 3rd is in contention, but Hero, there's no draft range from Will at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is currently a battle between Will and Striker, and quite frankly, for Hero's sake, he might not mind Will competing with Striker right now. If he can get 2 first places in a row, he is 1 track away of trying to close things out.
That is the game plan for Hero right now. As Striker, he begins to move forward, but Hero is doing an excellent job of making sure this lead is not closed.
Yeah, Striker's barely trying to get into range of that draft, but still just an inch short here. The boost is going to allow him to catch up as we near the tubes, but of course, getting that...
Oh, Striker!
Plays a little too aggressively. Striker just blocks him out, clotheslines him into the corner. Now Striker entering the corner. Hero does make it a bit of a mistake, but he's able to recover for the time being. However, this puts Striker in draft range. He's able to catch up. He will have one more opportunity as we enter the last section. The draft fills up off the jump as well. Striker with the boost. He's trying to use the momentum. Can he catch up? The top speed, it's getting there, but Hero just going for the body blocks. He's trying to make sure Striker cannot pass him. Hero now with 2 in a row.
Striker was looking so great there. It looked like he might be able to catch up to Hero, but Hero was able to hold on. The lead that he developed earlier on really paying off near the end there, and now round 2 and round 3 were won by Hero. He's only 1 track win away from ending it.
Oh boy, and this was a pretty dominant win too, right? I mean, he started off in first place, kept it all the way through the entire track. Curious to see what his next selection will be. It's going to be an important one. If he can get first place, he will get that three-peat. And as we've had that rule change this season, if you win first place 3 times in a row, the race ends no matter the point total. Normally, you'd have to get to 50 points total, but right now, the three-peat very close. And it's in Hero's hands as he gets to select the next track.
And the top 4 is also having a pretty sizable lead right now. It's Hero, Striker, DDING, and Skald up there. They're all above 10 points. WooJun is in 5th place with 8 points right now. So if Hero doesn't get that first place, the standings are also going to matter as now we get ready to bring you guys round 4 of solos. And it's going to be WKC Mexico Touring Rally selected by Hero himself.
Looks like we're getting the track ready, so we'll have to wait just a bit, but no worries. We're usually able to get the track set up right away. Looks like the racers are always just waiting for the sign to get going. Just looks like it's going to be a quick reset as far as I can tell, but we'll update you guys if we hear anything further. Meanwhile, just to refresh everyone, Hero, as Peter mentioned, currently still in first place with the 23 points, but also only 1 track away from the three-peat. Meanwhile, Striker, slow and steady, does the job, sitting at 2nd place with 18 points. DDING still close behind thanks to the very early start he had at 16 points. So he's still, somewhat safe in range of that top 4.
It's certainly safe right now, but the point gap also isn't huge enough where Striker and DDING, if they screw up and get into 7th or 8th, they could still get caught up to, because we're very early on into the solos. We've only played 3 tracks so far, so I'm not surprised to see this group being this close, because I feel like, as I mentioned earlier on, it is a pretty well-balanced group for solos.
Yeah, we've got some former opponents, just saying that you should be able to move on if you've taken me down as well. So lots of players, lots of friends, lots of family as well, it seemed early on that we saw in the crowd cheering for this redemption match. I mean, 1 extra chance to enter the round of 16. It's going to mean a lot for some of these players to just have that 1 extra chance, because if you go to the round of 16, we go into that double elimination format. So you have 1 extra chance there as well to try to eke your way into the final 8.
And it also really matters whether you finish in the top 2 or the bottom 2, because the rank 1 and 2 of the whole entire day is going to get to first choose which group they enter in the round of 16 match. And given that it is quite a different group of players, selecting your group can significantly increase your chance of being able to perform.
Yeah, and we can talk about that just a little bit, right? A lot of these players saying they'd prefer to go to match 1, but that's where we're seeing a couple of these previous champions sitting. So I'm curious if it's just a matter of, hey, I just want to get in there and prove myself, or if they actually think stylistically it's a better matchup. We'll have to wait to find out as we are now getting ready. Once again, it's going to be round 4 WKC Mexico Touring Rally here in the redemption match of the solos.
And off we go into the round 4 of redemption match. Hero looking for that three-peat here, but he hasn't been able to find the best start yet. So we're seeing a lot of pressure the players are applying to make sure that Hero doesn't get that three-peat.
Yeah, I mean, this becomes a mind game all of its own right now, especially for racers like WooJun, who would, if he's able to get into the podium, he should be able to get enough points to try to get back into the top 4. However, if it ends right now with Hero getting first place, WooJun would be in a lot of trouble of potentially getting eliminated.
We're seeing a lot of aggression here from Hero to try to catch up back to the front, but it's been really hard because DDING, Striker, and Will, these 3 players are the catapult of the top right now. They're not letting go of this lead.
Yeah, but Hong and Hero, they find an opening with that boost around the corner, and now all 5 racers close to each other. We still see, in fact, everyone bunched up. You can see on the minimap, even all the way back down to 7th and 8th place, everyone close by. All eyes on Hero, though. Can he make the three-peat happen? Ding is saying, no, we can't let you do that. If anyone's doing it, it's got to be me.
And you can see now Striker and WooJun and Hong also making it to the pack to make sure that Hero is kept behind. There's quite a tall task right now for Hero. He hits the wall a bit there as well, and now he's 7th place.
Yeah, he gets knocked back by Squad as well, who's able to now try to contend for top 4. Ding now a bit more steady in first place. Striker, I feel like just the way he's been playing, he's happy to just get a podium finish, right? Just get enough points to move on to the round of 16. And Ding with a great block as we enter the last 300 meters of straightaway. And Ding should keep the top speed, entering in first place. Will right behind WooJun and Striker in 3rd and 4th.
Ding with his 2nd first place of the solos. That is going to give him 10 much needed points. And that is going to be 26 points in the bag now for Ding. And Hero, it seemed like he wasn't able to recover, so this is going to be really close in the standings.
Yeah, I think they might be tied. Hero's still able to recover, stabilize at 5th place. So getting, just a couple more points, 3 points in fact. So they should be tied at 26. So all eyes still between Ding and Hero. However, this is great news for Will, who was able to get a 2nd place and now get 7 extra points, just close enough to try to enter the top 4.
WooJun certainly fighting for his life to stay in top 4. It's not looking easy there. He's only 3 points ahead of the player in 6th place right now. So a lot of contention for that final ticket in that 4th place.
Yeah, Skald sitting at 10 points as well. Lost a point on this one as he enters in 8th place. But Skald and Will, they're eyeing WooJun as we see on the screen right now. Can they try to knock him out of the standings? Well, Ding is going to take us to a track he's always enjoyed racing on. It's going to be round 5 here in the redemption match of the round of 32. It's Mine Winding Slopes. And the race begins. Ding, of course, the three-peat has reset. So he need to get 2 more. If he does, he'd still be able to finish before the 50-point mark. But right now we're already halfway up to the 50 points. And Ding, that's a rough start. This is a single lapper. Right now, more eyes on Striker and Hero. And WooJun, he feels the pressure. He feels other of these kind of newer racers trying to catch up to him. He wants to get more points.
You can definitely see our players start to perform much better here in the winding slopes as Striker. He seems to be winning out against Hero on the lines for now. And Hero, he does take some collisions there, so that's even more room for Striker, but a great line from Hero to catch back up.
Yeah, I mean, Hero, he was trying to use the draft just to his advantage, but Striker's playing a lot safer. As I say, then a bit of a bump. It actually works out in favor of Striker. Good recovery. Cutting a lot of these corners close. WooJun still keeping a pretty safe 3rd place. However, Skald, he's caught up quite a bit as well. And Ding, out of nowhere, now trying to enter for contention. As we near the hairpins, if there are any collisions, Ding could find a good opening to enter in 1st place.
That's what Ding is looking for right now between Hero and Striker. Here comes the spins, and Striker wins out of that one hugely, and now it's Striker in the lead, looking for that 1st place.
Yeah, Hero trying to cut closer off of the draft, and he finds a perfect opening. Striker's going to enter in 2nd place. Hero regaining that 1st seed as he gets to select the next track for round 6.
And that's 10 points in the bag now for Hero. That puts him at 36 points. I mean, Hero, he's got 3 first-place finishes right now, so it feels like even if he doesn't get the 3-peat, he might be the first to just win through points.
Yeah, I mean, he's feeling fairly safe. And if anything, with 36 points right now, Hero should feel fairly safe getting at least top 4, right? So making the round of 16 perhaps not as nerve-wracking yet, but of course you want to get into that first 2, as you mentioned, Peter, to get that selection of group.
And WooJun is able to defend his 4th place spot, but now he did build a bigger lead, so that's good news for him, but he's 4 points ahead of our 5th place player, so it is a lot of pressure still on the shoulder for WooJun.
Yeah, WooJun, he's not in the safe zone just yet, but the good news for some of these racers is that the 3-peat seems to be somewhat out of the question now for a lot of these racers. So it's just a matter of points, right? You've got at least 2 more tracks that you can try to get a couple more points on. Hero's going to take us to one of those next ones. It's going to be Mine Gold Rush.
The race kicks off in Hero's third selection of the solos. It is here in the Mine Gold Rush. As we see Hero, he's not off to the best start, but he does have at least a lot of points, so he must feel safe.
Yeah, you know, perhaps just, again, waiting for some of those mistakes to happen. He's going to find a good opening, actually, cutting from the outer to the inside line right around the first corners. Wow. And he's actually finding a great opening next to Will. Will not able to maintain his line there to try to block out Hero. So Will just playing purely speed right now, whereas Hero, he is finding these openings, the small mistakes in the maneuvers of his opponents.
Hero's lines are as smooth as butter, but Striker, he's also doing a great job keeping up the lead, and you can see it's really consolidating down to these three in the front at the moment.
Yeah, Striker, I love the bio he had for Redemption Match today, right? He said, you know, Striker hits different when it comes to a Redemption Match, and so far it's been looking pretty solid. He's had a very steady line of points, tied at second place with 29 right now. See if that can continue. Ding trying to break away from that tie with 29 himself.
And it's surprising to see Squad up in that first place right now, because overall in the standings, he is quite far behind, but if he can get a first place finish, that is one of the many steps he would need to get into top 4.
And we gotta remember, right, if someone like Squad all the way at the bottom of the scoreboard is able to get a 3-peat now, he can suddenly end the race without getting to 50 points. I mean, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly could happen. As we see now, Hero regaining the lead, looking for that 3-peat himself. And you see a beautiful line coming out of Will and Squad. Squad's going to take some collisions there, so now it's Will firmly in the lead.
Yeah, that's where you see a bit of that experience coming into play for Will, but can he protect it from Ding? He knows everyone's trying to take the inside line, but Striker takes that opportunity, goes around the outside, and no, he cannot maintain the top speed. Will be getting 10 points to his name, boosting him all the way up to 21.
Will is applying a lot of pressure on WooJun here. WooJun came in 5th place, so he managed to get only 3 points for himself. So WooJun's actually going to be tied now with Will for that 4th place.
Yeah, 21-point tie. I mean, this is a huge jump for Will. We got to remember, he started at 8th and then 7th place for the first 2 tracks. He was sitting at -1 for 2 rounds in a row, and now he's able to boost back up towards 4th place. Can he make it to the round of 16?
This is an incredible moment right now for Will, and he is the only player of solos today that managed to get first place outside of Ding and Hero. You know, they've been getting back-to-back first places, but now this is where the momentum shifts.
All right, I mean, this is kind of the revenge here of some of the younger players. Will trying to prove that they're not out of the race yet. Striker saying, man, this guy right next to me, Will, all right, he's something. All right, giving him a little bit of respect, perhaps. But that does put a little bit of pressure on some of these more veteran players. And Will, he's going to take us to another long track, another difficult one. It's going to be Glacier Snowbound Slopes for round 7. The race continues in round 7 here in the redemption match of the round of 32. Will tied at 21 with WooJun. That's going to be the big highlight for this one. However, we should also note, if Hero gets first place, the race ends with 50 points.
Yep, he just needs that first place, so we can see Hero gunning for that, but unfortunately he hasn't found the best start. It's Hong and Will having a great start. I mean, if Will can get first place here, that's the beginning of that 3-peat you were mentioning, Will.
Yeah, I mean, it's very likely. You know, you just got to get it 3 times. You know, make it sound simple. But right now, Ding just trying to make sure he doesn't let Hero get that very first selection of their choice. Of course, we got to remind you, they get to select which group in the round of 16 they will be entering in order of their finish here in the redemption match. Ding trying to make sure he gets first pick.
Ding is another scary player to have in the front right now because he has 33 points, and if he gets first place, that would put him at 43. So Ding is really looking to apply some of that pressure, and I gotta say, Will has been doing a great job keeping up in second.
Yeah, I mean, Will, you could just race a bit safer and try to overtake at the end, but Will says, no, I want to make sure I keep the momentum. He's going to be able to enter in first place as we go through the cable car ride. Now get ready for lap number 2.
See Will getting that lead right now, but Hero with the recovery. Where did Hero come from? We mentioned that Hero, if he gets first place, that's it. That's 10 points, and he's going to be at 51.
Yeah, so Will, while he might want to go for something crazy like the 3-peat, he also has to remember all he needs to do is try to stay healthily above WooJun, and he should be safe for the top 4 to make it into the round of 16. Hong also trying to get some revenge of trying to climb back towards WooJun and Will, currently in second place.
It's certainly looking great for Will at the moment. Hong is trying to catch up, but Hong also needs to be mindful of Hero, whereas Will seems to have much more space in his arsenal, as we see Will once again entering the middle, 3 players choosing the same path.
Yeah, Will's took the right side line, which, you know, coming into the KDL, a lot more racers seem to be preferring the left side, but Will wanted to avoid a lot of the collisions. And to me, it seems like Will, he doesn't worry too much about Hong. He's much more worried about Hero entering in first place. Will wants to get more points, get a higher standing going in to the round of 16.
Will is quite far away from Hong, but just as you put it, he's not too concerned. He just wants to prevent Hero from going for that first place. Hero really looking for it at the moment, but the collision comes in. And Will, he gets his second first place of the solos tonight.
Wow, 2 in a row, and Will actually just 1 track away of making an upset finish here in the redemption match. He's only sitting at 31 points, but he does have 2 in a row, only 1 track away from the 3P.
This is such a close group of solos here, and it fits the theme of redemption. These players want that. They got a second chance, and they need to secure it tonight. As we see Will securing those 10 points for himself, it was much needed because Will is a player that can definitely stay top 4 as long as he can keep these up.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hero still very safe at 45, so all things considered, he should be, you know, safely in second place, whether it's Striker or Will who overtakes him eventually. But there's a chance here that Will could go up in first place, get his pick in the round of 16. The big question is can he handle the pressure of being so close to the finish line here in the redemption match?
There's so many different ways we can end it on this next track. Round 7 could be our final round of the solo redemptions tonight, as we're seeing Hero only 5 points away from 50, Striker 9 points away, and Will, he just needs 1 more first place. So 3 players that have a chance to end it here on round 7.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a chance that, you know, all of them somehow end it, but the standings change based on the points they get. So we're going to have to wait and see as we see the next selection from Will. He takes us to Forest Zigzag Timberland.
And here we are on round 8, and as you guys can see in the graphics there, Will is on his 2-win streak. So off this phenomenal start from Will, if he's able to get that 3rd victory, that means he's leaving this group as the 1st seed.
Yeah, and I do love the start from Will. He goes aggressively for the wide cuts, and he's able to take advantage of that. He started in the middle of the pack, and he still goes for it right to left, and he's able to get that boost gauge advantage. Now starting in first place here in lap 1. However, the question is Will, can you handle the pressure of potential attacks coming in from multiple opponents? Because this track is another one with very difficult hairpins towards the end of the lap.
That's why I was really surprised when Will chose it, but so far he's doing a phenomenal job, and you can see Hong really trying to catch up and prevent Will from getting that 3P, but there's also Squad and Hero that Hong's got to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, right now, trying to just make sure the race doesn't end, but for some of these players at the bottom of the scoreboard, it's not just Will you have to worry about. As we mentioned, Striker and Hero all in range of finishing the redemption match here and now on Zigzag Timberland. We enter the first lap of the hairpins, and Will, he's defending himself very well from Striker. Striker's one of those racers who's been able to play this very safe pension meta here in the redemption match, just steadily getting into, you know, 2nd, 3rd place in the points.
Hero needs 3rd place or higher. Striker needs that 1st place along with Will. So we can see the 3 players that matter the most here in round 8 all being top 3 right now.
Yeah, so in some ways, however, a lot more pressure on Will, right? Because if he doesn't get first place, he's not going to be in the top 2 to get his own selection into the round of 16. He's going to be at the mercy of potential other players, or, you know, depending on who finishes, he might even get knocked down a rank. So Will, a lot more pressure on him to try to get into first place.
Currently, it's looking like it's Hero looking to be that 1st place finisher from the redemption of solos tonight, as he's able to win on that line trade against Squad. Will trying to catch up, but he's a bit far behind at the moment.
Yeah, but he's found a good opening, and he should get a couple more chances for drafts. However, he has to play defense, and he does! He's able to weave in between a couple of these opponents, but not able to recover. A little bit swerving off to the right, and Ding just bypasses all of that collision. He's now in first place. Will still has a shot. He's in draft range. Striker and Ding, they're ping-ponging back and forth. Hero right behind. Hero, he wants to get the draft, but he can't
Oh,
keep the top
Striker!
speed. And Striker, he bypasses both of them, and he's gonna enter in first place. He will get 51 points to his name with the 10, and he will be finishing the redemption match in first place, as Hero also gets 50 points, but 1 point below Striker should put him in second.
A miracle play from Striker there, getting that first place locked in. But Hero's not going to be too upset about that one, because being the second place of the group means that you still get to choose your group. It's only the third place and fourth place that's at a disadvantage, because if the first place and the second place player chooses the same group, then you're kind of forced to go into the other one.
Yeah, so, I mean, Striker, what a dramatic way. He's a racer we didn't really mention much because he's just been quietly racing his own tracks here all throughout, and right when it matters most, he's able to put his name on the board in first place. And this pushes Will down to fourth place, so while he had a great redemption of being able to make it to the round of 16, he will not have a choice at all, as he will be at the mercy of the 3 other racers.
Congratulations to our 4 players that made it out of redemption match. On the other side, we have WooJun, Skald, Hong, and Squad that didn't really make it today, but it was really close in the beginning, so they did a phenomenal job in the solos.
Yeah, Ding just, happy that he's able to move on and not getting the three-peat. We saw Will go for the same signal there. Both of them had a shot, so did Hero, but they're not able to get it. Striker says, hey, it doesn't matter. You just got to get first place at the end. You got to get first place when it matters, and he proved it, getting that 51, dramatically crossing the line. So once again, Striker, Hero, Ding, and Will continue here in the KDL as they move on to the round of 16. Unfortunately, we will be saying goodbye to WooJun, Skald, Hong, and Squad in the solo matches.
Today was such a close day, and I love that Striker was able to clutch it in the end there. Near the end of that Zigzag Timberland, there was so much collisions, and we had no idea who would come out on top, but Striker, off of his own play, securing that first place must feel great.
Yeah, I mean, Hero was trying to bypass Ding as well, and Ding is able to block off Hero. He can't keep up his top speed, and Striker says, that's my moment, gets the draft, gets his boost, and is able to bypass both of them, getting that final 10 points. So 51 for Striker. He will be getting his first selection, and we'll have to wait and see how the final groups look in the round of 16.
The round of 32 of solos has been a long journey, Will, and now we've gotten through it all and now ready for a round of 16s. And we don't have the names up yet. We will see that in a moment, potentially. But the group is just so stacked. As the KDLs went on, we got to see so many different players have their shot at solos. Last season, it was Looning being the champion of solos, and we may have a new player this time around. I really like solos because it's a completely different atmosphere from team. You just rely on your own skill, and that takes you to the top.
Yeah, and it's hard to stay dominant for so long, right? Obviously, historically, we've had a couple players here and there who have been able to do that. Obviously, Cool to some extent, World to some extent, and then back in Kart Rider League, of course, WooJun. But we'll have to wait and see if that is able to start here in the KDL. Let's take a review of how things have gone down today in the KDL before we get to the final standings. So we started with the team matches. It was a day of professional teams versus the amateur teams.
Live Sandbox taking a win. The fans really predicted this one. There was more than 90% in the favor of Live Sandbox, and it was a pretty easy sailing for them. No ace match to be had.
Yeah, I mean, 3-2, a little bit rough on speed, but Live Sandbox, they show that they've made improvements and have a good understanding of how they want to play item mode. We'll see if that continues as they try to continue their sail with this win streak towards the postseason. Still looking like one of the more formidable teams, but I do think we currently still see a gap between them and a team like KWANGDONGFREECS.
That is certainly the case. So Live Sandbox has a lot of homework cut out for them, but it's good news at least that off the win today. They kind of feel like they have that homework ahead of them. And on the other side, we have KWANGDONGFREECS that we just mentioned briefly, the team that's looking unstoppable in the league at the moment, showing off against Always in speed 3-0. It was the cleanest speed we've seen in a while. And item, it was a bit shaky, but it managed.
Yeah, it managed, right? And that's all the KWANGDONGFREECS really needs in item mode, because they're so dominant in speed mode. And you can see that in their own confidence and their play style. I mean, this is a team that they will get the lead in lap 1, and then they will keep it. And it seems like the only answer to that is try to mess up the rankings in lap 1, and not many teams have been able to challenge them in that aspect in speed mode. Now, item mode, a little bit of a different story. However, they do seem a bit more consistent than they did during the preseasons, and I gotta imagine some of it is thanks to the changes made to the game. It seems to favor the KDF just a tad bit.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that KDF, they're working on their item because now we're almost done with our preseason and we got to take a look at the standings to see how things went. KWANGDONGFREECS is the only undefeated team and Live Sandbox with a 4-2 scoreline. Now looking very healthy. There's 3 teams under them with a 3-2 score.
Yeah, Mira and Sejong and Seongnam Ross, the other 2 professional teams, looking like they still have a very solid chance of making it to the postseason. And then Desperado, one of the amateur teams who has really been making a run for it. We'll see if they can protect that standing as we near the end, because of course the top 5 move on to the wild card and further of the postseason. And then we rounded out the night with our solo matches with a dramatic finish of Striker overtaking everyone at the end with 51 points.
Striker is having such a good season right now. I've gotten to see the excitement Striker has whenever he's able to get a clutch victory. Last time he won in an ace match as well, and it was just exciting to see how happy he was.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel the energy from Striker, and it seems like he's one of the racers that he definitely believes in himself, right? He just needed a couple more shots to prove himself here in the KDL, and right now he's doing that exact thing. Of course, we have more matches only halfway through the overall season for the very first season of the KDL. We return on Wednesday at 6 p.m. And ooh, right off the bat, it's going to be Seongnam Ross. Can they finally give that first defeat to the KWANGDONGFREECS?
It's looking like a day packed with action. We're following that up with Finale Esports up against Mira and Sejong. Mira and Sejong desperately need another win because they want to be 4-2 in the standings. Whereas Live Sandbox, they would like to win against Desperado, given that Desperado's a strong contender right now for the postseason.
Yeah, and that could have some very big implications for the postseason as well, right? Because if Desperado wins, they will be moving up. But we'll review all of that when we return on Wednesday. Make sure you tune in once again to see how the team matches wrap up. That's it for KDL tonight. We'll see you on Wednesday, same place, same time.
Check if my name in your mouth, better add the respect. Otherwise, pressure gon' be at your neck when I burn you like. This ain't a game, my aim is the throne. I'm much higher than you, like a rocket, a drone. I'm powerful, think of a stone. Throwed off in my brain and I'm bad to the bone.